Shalom. This week we are reading Parashat Eikev, beginning in Sefer Devarim, the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7 and verse 12. We have a very important verse in this parsha. It's in chapter 10, verse 12, and the verse reads, "And now, Israel, what does the Lord, HaShem, your God, require of you, but to fear HaShem your God, to walk in all of His ways, and to love Him, and to serve HaShem your God with all your heart and with all your soul, to keep the commandments of HaShem and His statutes, which I command you this day for your good." This is like a statement of the totality of being. It's a summation. It's as if we would ask, well, what exactly does God want from us anyway? And here's the answer. He tells us all He's asking for is that we should fear Him. And that fear, that proper degree of reverence, of understanding the true nature of our relationship with God and the world, which is called by the Torah fear of God, that will lead us to everything else. Notice how the verse does not say, "And now, Israel, what does HaShem your God require of you but to fear HaShem your God and to walk in all of His ways?" Rather, it states, to walk in all of His ways. In other words, this statement, if you will fear Him, then you will walk in all of His ways. This will lead to everything else. And what is this idea, "and now, Israel"? We're opening up the book, and this is what we find is being said to us right now. That's really the idea. It's at this moment. This is the pivotal moment. This is the starting point. And this is actually a reflection of other verses in the Torah, such as the one in Psalms 111, verse 10. It states, "The beginning of wisdom is the fear of God." And as the Holy Zohar explains, fear of God is really the first mitzvah. It's the basis of all the other commandments in the Torah, and the attribute of the fear of God is, in fact, the basis of the entire Torah itself. Another verse that comes to mind in Isaiah 33, verse 6, tells us that, "And the faith of your times shall be the strength of salvations, wisdom and knowledge. Fear of HaShem, that is His treasure." And this is a very interesting verse which our sages interpret that it actually alludes, these words, to the entire 6 orders of the Mishnah. And there's a tradition that this particular verse, Isaiah 33:6, alludes to a person who has studied the entire order of the Mishnah, a great Torah scholar. And yet, the end of this verse states that the fear of God is His treasure. Because actually, without the fear of God, even an accomplished scholar has nothing and has gained nothing. Because Torah study is not merely about gaining more information, just as spiritual mastery is not just about mastery over the self, because both Torah study and any form of spiritual mastery, if they are not centered around a conscious connection to God, then neither really have any worth. And this is the meaning of another verse in Psalms 19 that says, "The fear of HaShem is pure. It stands forever." Commenting on this verse, the Midrash states that explicitly that a person can be very well versed in Torah. A person can be an intellectual master, but if a person doesn't fear the possibility that he may sin, if a person doesn't truly fear God, then he has actually accomplished nothing. And so this is what the Midrash says about all of this. And this is kind of like the concluding thought of this beautiful verse in our Parsha, Parashat Eikev. "And now, Israel, what does HaShem your God require of you but to fear HaShem your God, to walk in all of His ways," etc. Here's the thought of the Midrash. It's like a person who boasts to his friend, "I've got 1,000 pounds of grain. I've got 1,000 barrels of oil and 1,000 jugs of wine." And his friend asks him, "Well, where are you going to keep it all? Do you have a storehouse?" To which he responds, "No, actually, I hadn't thought of that. I don't know where I'm going to keep it." So his friend says to him, "Then you have nothing, because everything that you have will all spoil." And so too, a person can be very knowledgeable, but without the storehouse of fear, all of this knowledge will simply rot away. If a person has fear of God, which means fear of sinning, then everything belongs to him. Because the fear of HaShem, the fear of the Lord, that is His treasure, as King David states, "The fear of HaShem is pure, it stands forever."